you've got the 2x4s that are holding everything up.
Right.
And so I like to say that, my little friend helps me have a good foundation, because it's, getting that reminder when I choose to have my thoughts that aren't so good, and I choose not to listen to the whispers, I call it. Some people want to say, listen to their gut feeling, listen to whatever. I call it the whispers.
Yeah.
Because to me, the whispers are when you don't listen to the whispers, they start yelling at you, and that's when you get the 2x4.
Are you feeling stuck, dreaming of a life beyond your current boundaries? I'm C. Eric Collier, and I've been where you are. Now, as an international speaker, 3-time international best-selling co-author, veteran, and the host of the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I've dedicated my life to helping people just like yourself embark on a transformative journey to unlocking your inner greatness. With my wealth of experience and a proven track record, I guide individuals to break through barriers and create life-changing momentum shifts. Having been featured in news and magazine articles, on television shows, and spoken on stages like the National Press Club and Columbia University, my message has inspired people worldwide to turn the impossible into possible. On my show, the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I'm committed to sparking a movement that empowers others to shift momentum in their lives, offering motivational insights, interviews, and thought-provoking discussions. If you are ready to redefine what's possible and unlock your potential, then subscribe to my mailing list for exclusive content and updates. Join a community of motivated individuals just like yourself on the path to greatness. Subscribe now and transform your life at CEricCollier.com. That's CEricCollier.com.
Hello and welcome to the Momentum Shift, a show designed to get you inspired, get you moving, because we want to get results. I'm your host, Eric Collier, the mayor of motivation, and the Momentum Shift is all about helping you turn the impossible into possible for you. So I have with me today a guest who wants you to understand that the wow concept is the way to go about life. She's a smash through mentor, and she's a multi-international number one best-selling author. She's an award-winning sales trainer and productivity facilitator. She's a speaker, and she's just awesome in my book. I love her. So I want to introduce you today here. Joining me is Ms. Debora J. Hollick. Debora, how you doing? Thank you for joining me.
I'm great, Eric. Thank you for having me. And I just love being here. I'm honored.
Cool. Glad to have you. And I got to fix my volume here. But the show is all designed to help people go from being stuck in a moment of where they got to make a decision to take action. And we don't want them to turn away and walk back to that life that they don't want to be in. We want them to take action. And so what I want to share with everybody today is your understanding of what the momentum shift is, or what a momentum shift is for, and how it's helped your life.
Well, I've been around the block a day or two. So I've had to do quite a few momentum shifts in my life. And I love your show because and I love you being the mayor of inspiration. That to me is just, every time I hear that, Eric, on one of your episodes, or I see it on your LinkedIn, I just smile from ear to ear, because it's just wonderful. And just hearing that is a momentum shift, I believe. So I'm just so impressed with that. I love it. And so for me, I believe momentum shifts have to happen. They're going to happen whether we want them to or not.
Right.
I think it just depends on which way do we want to go with that shift. Are we going to go toward something we want, or stay in the quagmire of what we don't?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
And that's why, for me, wow is a big deal.
Okay.
It's universal. There's wow in some form of expression or language, I believe, everywhere. It's like a smile.
Yeah.
People say wow in however they do. So for me, it's important because it's an acronym for me.
All right.
and the concept that I believe in, and that is WOW is an acronym for wonder, openness, and wisdom. And I believe if we look for that in everything, we'll find it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like that. I like that. Yeah. Wow. You said wonder, openness, and
Wisdom.
wisdom. Yes. Because it helps, right? Because when you're stuck, when you don't know the answer to something, it's great to, you say wonder or wander. I messed it up.
Well, for me,
well
you know what? I look at it, we can wander and we can wonder at the same time.
Yeah, because it's important, right?
For some people, maybe they feel that would be better for them. But I like to look for the wonder because I just look at the world and I think there's so much wonder.
Yeah.
And when we open up to what that wonder can be and what we can learn and how we can grow and how we can share, that's the openness of it all. Opening ourselves up to knowledge, to experience. And let's face it, I don't know about you, but I think it's probably safe to say that you're a lot like me, that all of our experiences haven't exactly been wonderful.
You know what? It's funny. I asked a group of students that I mentored the other day, do you think you should have problems? Because that's something that people tend to think. I shouldn't have any problems. Everything should be like the fairy tale. I should be able to live forever, happily and forever, no problem. But I was glad that they said they should have problems because it helps them grow. So I was happy that they said that because it's the truth, right? You wouldn't be the strong, phenomenal individual you are today if you didn't have any problems, now would you?
And let's face it, contrast doesn't necessarily have to be a problem, but we have to have contrast to make a choice.
Yeah.
To make a decision, you have to, otherwise you just be like going along like, how boring would that be?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, I don't think we could function anyway. I think we just kind of wither away and be done.
Yeah. You'd find a reason to make that unhappy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And you know what? That's a very good point, Eric.
And to be honest with you, right? And to be honest with you, it's really not a problem. It's an opportunity test and a challenge, right? That you got to get over. And I think that's a big thing to understand, or not get over. You got to smash through. How do you become the smash through mentor? What do you do to help people smash through their barriers?
Well, I like to help people smash through their barriers by just helping them to see that based upon their thoughts and the energy around those thoughts, that with a very slight momentum shift, they can change that. And their energy can be completely different. We have all walked in a room and somehow felt like, I don't want to go over there. I don't want to go to that side of the room. Something's not feeling right over there.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't have to be a psychic or some kind of intuitive. We're all intuitives. We really are.
Right.
I know some people don't agree with that, but we are. We know we have that gut feeling. It's been a gift that's been given to us by, our creator, and people can call that whatever you want. Some of us call it God, some of us call it the universe, I call it all the same, because to me it's all the same beautiful, wonderful energy.
Got you.
And so we know inside ourselves when there needs to be that momentum shift.
Yeah.
So I like to help people by just helping them just look at it differently. And one of the ways I've done that in the past, well, and still do, is by showing people Kirlian photographs of what some thoughts look like.
Okay, and I saw that when you spoke up in Columbia University and you showed that on your slide. Exactly. Can you say that a little bit more clearer and explain a little bit of what that is? Because
Well,
I can't
curling
say it.
photography's been around for a long time,
Okay.
and it basically takes a picture of the aura
All right.
and what the body or the thoughts are looking like. In my case, my camera would take a forethought exposure. So it would be on the same Polaroid film. So you had a really good idea to see it when, what a normal everyday kind of thought might look like. And the
Okay.
person, I don't know what the thoughts are. Only they know
Right.
when they're taking it.
Gotcha.
So there's no manipulation, there's no anything, because you don't know what it's going to look like. Nobody knows until you pull that film out. So it would be a 4 exposure on there, and I would take normal thought, a happy thought, and again, all their own, and then a thought that really frustrated them or made them really angry.
Yeah.
And then the last one would be sort of a contentment thought, or, I would say, whatever makes them really content and peaceful and calm, their God self thought, whatever made them just feel at peace.
Okay.
And that would all be on one picture, because those are kind of thoughts that pretty much everybody has every day.
Yeah.
I would hope, anyway.
Yeah. I mean, of the thousands that we have, right?
Oh, yeah. So the fact that only the person whose photograph I was taking knew their thoughts,
Okay.
when I'd start analyzing the picture for them, they could relate.
Oh,
And the reason I started that is because I had my own picture taken years ago.
okay.
And as you may recall from my Columbia talk, it wasn't a pretty sight in the beginning.
Yeah, I remember you
It
saying that.
really wasn't. So you want to talk about momentum shift, Eric?
Yeah.
That was a moment that changed my life.
Okay.
It changed my life because it was almost scary to look at. And I knew that it was my responsibility to change it.
Okay.
Nobody could change it for me. Like, I can't change anybody else.
Yeah.
All we can do is offer and share. And that's that.
Yeah. And now how did you get into the Curlian Curlian picture taking? How did you get into that? Because I think it's just awesome that you could actually take a picture of the aura of someone.
Well, it was through my mentor, Dr. Agnes Krawick, who has passed on now, but she was just such a delight and inspiration to so many of us. And she loved to teach us, and we loved to learn. We were like sponges.
Yeah.
And so it was she who first took my picture. And from that moment on, I knew I had to make changes, and I wanted to do this Curlian photography.
Gotcha. Wow.
And she guided me all the way through. She was, one of the main pioneers of it, and she guided me all the way through, and was just my biggest support, and so blessed to have her as a mentor. I think so fondly of her.
Yeah.
So that was how it all got started. And yeah, I love it. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, because you, at your first glance, you go, what is this slide with all of these circles? And then you start explaining it. You're like, okay, cool deal. So
yeah, it's all the auras around the fingertips.
When you saw your imagery or your picture, knowing what you were looking at, did it take you a while to, did you step back? Did it cause you to step back and to really go, oh my goodness?
Oh, it was instant.
Yeah.
When she explained it to me, and I went, and of course, she didn't know what my thoughts were.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I did.
Yeah.
I knew. And I just thought, oh my goodness, what am I doing to myself?
Yeah.
But, you know, I wasn't really aware until that point of what thought energy looked like.
Yeah, nobody ever thinks about that. You're like, just you think about the thought, but you never think about what the energy of it looks like.
Right. And we know how it feels. We know
Yeah.
when we're talking negatively or, you know, sharing negative stories. We know it's not making anybody feel any better. Not
Yeah.
sure quite why we do it. Misery loves company, they say, I guess,
Right.
whoever they
Yeah.
are. But
Wherever they are.
it's so much more fun. Like what I learned through all of this was how with focused and concentrated conscious effort to change my stinking thinking,
Yeah.
to quote the late Zig Ziglar.
Yeah. I think it was his birthday the other day, wasn't it?
I'm not sure, but
Okay.
happy birthday. But so when I made a conscious effort, it became easier to shift. And
Yeah.
now it's many years later. This didn't happen in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
When I became a curling photography practitioner, I was able to take my own pictures. So I really monitored. Like I was like every day.
Oh, you were addicted to it. Oh, I
Sometimes
need to
3 or
see.
4 times a day.
I need
You
to
know,
see it.
and sometimes I would purposely think a negative thought to see what my energy looked like. You know, because and I learned that through conscious effort and repetition and recognition and acknowledgement, I think none of us can change or have any kind of a shift without acknowledging
Yeah.
where we're at.
That's the first thing, that open-minded conversation, right?
For sure. So I had to kind of face some stuff that I kind of didn't really want to. You know, you
Yeah.
gotta look at yourself and peel
Ooh.
off those ugly little layers and go,
Yeah.
okay, Missy, you know, what are you gonna do about this?
Yeah, it hurts.
How are
It's
you gonna
like a
change?
gut punch, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's painful. Oh gosh.
Well, and nobody likes, you know, I didn't really want to take responsibility for some of the garbage going on in my life.
Yeah, it was easy to
Well,
blame
here's the
everybody else, right?
Yeah, well, here's the interesting thing though. When I did, Eric,
Uh-huh.
funny how life changed. Funny how when I started thinking differently, I attracted differently.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because that when you look at your the way your aura was and the people you were hanging around, now that your aura is different than the people you hang around, it's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. And it's funny that those other experiences that weren't so much fun, putting it mildly, as
Yeah,
you know, I've got my little 2x4 friend there that when I don't listen, it whacks me over the head.
yeah. I was gonna talk to you about that one too. So.
And so funny how those moments don't happen as often now. And
Okay.
I don't attract those kinds of people and events into my life as much. I'm not going to say they never happen because they
Right.
do.
Right. Can't give
But
it up.
for the most part, I'd like to say that, you know, I am, you know, constantly looking for ways to feel better and ways to improve things. And what thought can I think now?
Yeah. And I think it's an important thing you just brought up. I can't say when you said I'm not saying that they never happen. We're not perfect, right? We don't live in a perfect world, so we're not going to live in in an environment where things never happen. It's your ability to respond to them and react and move forward, right?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
And to shift. I mean, you know, I believe we have to be malleable. We have to, especially entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And well, I'm going to say pretty much everybody nowadays, if you want to live any kind of joyful life, I believe you got to be able to kind of go with the ebb and flow
Yeah.
because I
Definitely.
mean, the world is changing. Everything is changing so much that, you know, some of us don't even understand anymore,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I always like
and
to laugh when you talk to people who are older and they go, I don't understand this TikTok. I don't understand this Facebook. I don't understand this. And they're not trying to understand it, but you're living in this environment. What is even with software applications, laptops and things like that, some of them won't even get on them, but you got to be able to get on there and actually learn how to operate, right? And I'm not saying that's the most important thing, but like you said, the ability to adapt, adjust, and keep it moving, right? Or you stay stuck.
Oh, exactly. And one of the things I often say to people who, as you mentioned, who are afraid of technology, technology is not my strong suit. I'm kind of getting up there into that upper echelon where, I didn't grow up with technology.
Yeah.
It was the old fashioned way, right?
Yeah.
But for business and whatnot, I've had to learn. But I'm going to tell you a little funny story here.
Uh-huh.
I had a computer way back when. I had it for 2 years and was scared to turn it on.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was scared I'd do something wrong and I wouldn't know what to do and
Shut down the
whatnot.
internet.
Pardon?
And you shut down the internet.
It was just crazy. I mean, that was in the days when computers were basically, glorified word processors.
Right.
But it was scary, and
Yeah.
change is scary.
Yeah. And it's the fear, fear will start talking to you, and it'll go from this little bitty anthill to a mountain in a hurry, right? And it's all stuff that may happen, may never happen, it's not even real, but it keeps you stuck, and you never try to open up the computer and work on it.
And what an amazing world I found when I finally did.
Yes, exactly. What is it now? Multi award-winning, best-selling author. I mean, come on. You had to open up your computer for that because typewriters have gone away.
They have.
And you reach so many people.
It's so easy to fix our mistakes now.
Yeah.
And that's, when we look at it, I'm going to use that as a little analogy here because, in the past, for those of us who learned on a typewriter, it was difficult to fix your mistake. You had to kind of take this whiteout stuff, or you had to take this little chalky thing and put it in there just perfect. And oh my Lord, it could take you half a day to fix a mistake. You may as well start it over.
Exactly.
So
just pull the paper out and start all over.
It's the same as correcting your mistakes with your thoughts. It doesn't have to be difficult anymore.
Yeah.
Because just like a computer, it's pretty easy to fix our typos and stuff on a computer. Change your mind. Well, just delete that section. Right. Highlight it, delete it. Well, the same can go for our thoughts, Eric.
Yeah.
And to have our momentum shifts.
Yeah.
Just get that other stuff gone. Smash through it. It doesn't have to stick around for 20 years.
I like it. The smash through. I love it. Smash through it. And to help you smash through it, or to help to remind you of the mistakes you make, you have the 2x4. I'm like, you're brutal, man. I love it. I'm thinking WWE when the guy coming through the ring and he gets smashed with the board, falls on his back. But talk to me about the 2x4 and how did that come into your training?
Well, I refer to it as my little friend because, of course, it's not a whole big 2x4. It's just a section. But I use it in my talks because it's a very good visual for people to relate to.
It's an attention getter.
I like to say that, 2x4s in the traditional building sense of a home or a building or whatnot are the foundation. You've got your cement or whatever, and then you've got the 2x4s that are holding everything up.
Right.
And so I like to say that my little friend helps me have a good foundation because it's getting that reminder when I choose to have my thoughts that aren't so good, and I choose not to listen to the whispers, I call it. Some people want to say, listen to their gut feeling, listen to whatever. I call it the whispers. Yeah. Because to me, the whispers are when you don't listen to the whispers, they start yelling at you, and that's when you get the 2x4. Because it's a big thing.
Right.
So it's just a symbol to to help us relate. And I guess being the farm girl that I was, or still am, I guess, from being young, and there were 2x4s, so
Yeah.
that's where.
Oh man, it's cool. I think television would probably ban you right now because that's they took off Road Runner and a lot of the Three Stooges and all those guys because I thought it was too violent, but it gets your attention and it helps, right? Because like you
That's
said,
right.
I think I heard you say in your speech, is that if you don't listen, it'll just keep coming and hitting you upside the head until you decide, hey, I need to make a change, right?
Exactly. And I just call those my 2x4 moments.
Yeah.
The rougher it gets, pretty soon you're going to get the big one,
Yeah.
and I've had plenty of them. I didn't listen to the whisper one time when I should not have had surgery.
Yeah.
I knew I shouldn't have that surgery, but I
Okay.
went ahead anyway, and I just went right against it. And it was strong. It was yelling at me. It was actual verbal
Okay.
communication. It
All right.
wasn't just little whispers, of a gut instinct. It was
Okay.
verbal and coming through other people too.
Okay. So was that an
So, but
ego thing, or you just stubborn?
I felt, because of the type of surgery it was, and it was so close, like the surgery was happening the next morning.
Okay.
I just felt so badly that, someone else could have that spot who's waiting for that same surgery.
Gotcha.
And, the whole, operating team was assembled. It was ready to go. Everything was lined up. And,
Okay.
I just felt such a responsibility. I had worked in a hospital for many years, and so I knew what the logistics were to get all that going and what it was all about. So I just thought, I just was, you just dismiss it and you go, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Well, it wasn't so fine there.
Yeah.
I almost died.
Yeah.
So,
Man, I heard you say that. Oh, wow.
and boy, that was a 2x4. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
That one was it's like front and center. So I keep that in mind quite often now. So I look at it now as a gift.
Yeah.
That I can share it with others, that for them to listen, maybe they don't have to go through something that horrible.
Right.
They listen to the whispers.
The learning experience, right? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. 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 So you got the wild concept, you got the 2x4. What would be a third method that you use to really help people identify how to smash through their barriers? Did I say that right?
Yes. Yeah.
They
I really like visuals.
Yeah.
So I have something called an aura meter that also shows people how their energy is shifting.
Yeah.
So when I'm with people in person, I can show them that. So I use that too. And I basically, for the most part, just use examples from my life, from other people that I know and love, to just help people be more aware.
Gotcha.
And so I find that once people become aware, they're just a lot more ready and able to just get through it. Get through it. They want to get through it. I think people want to move through it.
Right.
Genuinely. But like you say, sometimes we get stuck.
Yeah.
And, it's like quicksand.
Oh, yeah.
It just keeps pulling you down when you don't make the conscious effort. It has to be a conscious effort. Nobody can change it for anybody else. Doesn't matter what I say. It doesn't matter what you say. Unless somebody wants to make those changes, it's not happening.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's I always talk about being stuck in my own mental quicksand and how I was sinking so bad. And the sad part about it is, because you operate in a manner in which you were taught was the right way, you don't realize that you're sinking. You know what I mean? You're just going on your daily grind. And I was so bad, I couldn't even lift my hand up to get help from the person who was offering me help that I wanted to help me, And it's so we can get stuck in that mental quicksand. But then when we start living by the wild concept, Talk to me about how free you feel now as you live in the wow concept.
Well, it's fun because nothing seems as bad anymore,
Yeah.
which is interesting to me because there were times in my life when, I was a couple of weeks away from being homeless.
Are you feeling stuck, dreaming of a life beyond your current boundaries? I'm C. Eric Collier, and I've been where you are. Now, as an international speaker, 3-time international best-selling co-author, veteran, and the host of the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I've dedicated my life to helping people just like yourself embark on a transformative journey to unlocking your inner greatness. With my wealth of experience and a proven track record, I guide individuals to break through barriers and create life-changing momentum shifts. Having been featured in news and magazine articles, on television shows, and spoken on stages like the National Press Club and Columbia University, my message has inspired people worldwide to turn the impossible into possible. On my show, the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I'm committed to sparking a movement that empowers others to shift momentum in their lives, offering motivational insights, interviews, and thought-provoking discussions. If you are ready to redefine what's possible and unlock your potential, then subscribe to my mailing list for exclusive content and updates. Join a community of motivated individuals just like yourself on the path to greatness. Subscribe now and transform your life at CEricCollier.com. That's CEricCollier.com.
And I'm one of the lucky ones. I was a couple weeks away.
Yeah.
But it seemed like my world was going to end.
Yeah,
so now,
I can imagine.
Nothing seems that bad. Like, I know I'm well looked after. I know I'll be okay. I'm just going to look for what's good in it. And I know that when I look for what's good in it, the wonder, the openness, and the wisdom, I know I'm going to find it. It might just be a little wee, tiny little spark somewhere there, just a little pebble.
Yeah.
But as I build on that pebble, I can make it better. And so I don't get as stressed out anymore about it, pretty much anything.
Got you. And that it feels so much better, right? Because now you don't feel as though you're being controlled by bills, by emotions, and you're not being, you know what I mean? It's like you kind of feel like a puppet at time, right?
Oh, for sure. Like, like a dancing marionette, and you don't know where your leg's going to go and your arms, and you're just kind of flailing about,
Yeah.
But now it feels more in control.
Okay.
When we're stuck and floundering,
yeah,
we want to control, but we're out of control and we don't know how to get it back.
Yeah.
But when we just take that tiny little step and we say, okay, they say that things happen for us, not to us. And I believe that. It doesn't feel like it. Oh my goodness, it does not feel like it so much of the time.
Yeah.
So for those of your listeners out there that are thinking, oh, she doesn't get it, believe me, I get it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that would embarrass me if I was to say it now. And, of the way I thought or didn't think and wasn't consciously taking care of what I was attracting into my life.
Yeah.
So I believe that, we just have to find those little bits and let it roll along and let it get bigger for the good stuff, not the other way around.
Right. We say those little nuggets, right?
Yeah.
Got to get those nuggets.
Because Eric, either way, it's going to grow, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is. And, and you've got it. You got it. It's either going to go the other way that you don't want it to go in, right? Or you can change the game and go the opposite way, the direction that you want it to go in. Because just sitting there, what is it? Someone was talking to me last week, and they didn't want to make a decision. Right? They had a decision to make, and they didn't want to make the decision. I said, well, you realize that by not making a decision, you've actually made a decision, and now you have to live with it, right?
Exactly.
And we tend to not make that decision. I like to say, so if you think about the largest gap that we face, if we take that gap and we stand it up on its legs it now becomes a mountain that we face, right? To becoming the best version of us. And in that is an infinite possibilities. It's the levels of difficulty and challenges that we have to face. And by turning and walking away, we're only saving it for another day, right? Or we become a walking dead because we never really tap into our true potential. And so I think it's very important that you make a decision to take action. Even if you fail, what you'll find out is that it wasn't as hard as you thought it was.
Well, and we don't really fail anyway.
True.
If we look at it differently, sometimes I wonder who came up with some of these words.
Yeah.
Because language plays a big part in how we shift and how whether or not we stay stuck.
Right.
And when we hear everything we tell ourselves.
Yes, we do. What I like to say is what we tell ourselves, we sell ourselves.
Yeah. And one of my favorite analogies is, if you were at the fish market and somebody's trying to sell you rotten fish, would you buy it?
No.
So why do we keep selling ourselves rotten fish? We're shoving it down our throats, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm not a big fish eater anyway, so I was out
now
in
you're
Washington.
really done.
I was out in Washington at the fish market. Like, I got to see this fish market because they throw the fish around, and then you're sitting there and you're like, I can't hang up the smell. I got to go. So I can only imagine rotten fish being thrown around. Take that home with you. Fry it up.
And how many people are doing that, Eric?
Yeah,
how many people are serving themselves rotten fish?
Yeah,
all the time.
You are so right. We're in our heads so bad, man. The things you can't do, the things that'll never happen for you, and if you just flip that, wow, you could live in the wow moments, the wow concept, and change your life around, right? And start smashing through your barriers. Can you imagine what it feels like to really realize that you were once stuck and now you just broke open that whole mindset of you couldn't do it, it was impossible, and now you're living in the possible.
Exactly. And that's the book, that the anthology that I compiled with some absolutely wonderful writers, is called Live Life in Wow.
Yeah.
And it's called, Nuggets of Wonder, Openness, and Wisdom. And I'm really proud to say that we launched that book in December 10th of 2022.
Oh, that's my son's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is still in a couple of categories on Amazon.com in the top 200 books.
Awesome.
And in Amazon.ca in 100 in a couple categories in the top 100.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's how powerful living in the wow really can be. That with all the millions and millions of books out there and authors, that this little book, it's not a huge book.
Yeah.
This little 200-page book
has
make such
impact.
Powerful stories in it that it is still up there. And so it's I really consider it a privilege to have been able to share that with the world. And I'm going to be doing another one. So if any of your listeners are out there who'd might like to join me, maybe they can be a #1 bestseller there too. Oh
yeah. We want to make sure they get there. You have to make sure they get your links before we leave here today. So I was going to ask, you have journals as well, correct?
No, there's a playbook that also goes with the Live Life in Wow, which are some exercises and some ideas from, the majority of the authors in the book of things that people can do to get their wow going. And so that there is that's also available. But no, I don't have journals, not yet. Maybe some days, who knows? But at this point, there's that. But I'm going to do I want the Live Life in Wow to become a series.
Got you. Okay. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Speaking of series, we were both part of a series with the Blue Talk series. And I think that's an awesome thing when you can get the business license, life in the universe. A community is so big. So I think you're on the right path. You're connected with the right people. Corey Poirier and his team really work well together. And I think that's a great, I think, how did you connect with Corey?
I met Corey. Yeah, Corey's been a big mentor and influence as well. But I met him at the New Media Summit.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Steve Olsher, but he had the New Media Summit, and that's where I met Corey.
Okay.
And when he was writing Blue Talks 3, or compiling his Blue Talks 3, Business Life Universe, he reached out to me and said, I think some of the topics you talk about would be really, really good for for this book, and I'd love to have you in the book.
Oh, cool.
So I thought, never thought about myself as a real author. I'd been in, one other bestseller before, but it was a journal.
Okay.
And so I felt very honored when Corey mentioned that. And so I thought, you know what? Listen to the whisper. It's telling you something.
Yeah.
And so I did. And so now I've been in, more than one of his books. I'm in a couple. I'm going to be in another one. And so
yeah,
went on to do some things. So I have to give Corey lots of credit. I appreciate him and his team, and Shelley and Tyler, who does the videos, and Heidi, who keeps us all on track. And
yeah, and it's funny. It's funny how you start making changes for yourself, and what you don't realize by saying yes is you're opening the doors to other people, and those people, although you may not see yourself at that level yet, other people see things in you, and they start bringing you on board to help you just highlight what skill set you have. And I think that's a great thing.
Right. And the Blue Talks community, the people there, I mean, I'm so glad that that's where I met you,
Yeah.
And Cheryl, your sister,
and,
so many other wonderful people, that I have met through the group. It's just, I mean, it's wonderful, and people keep joining us every day. New people are joining us, and it's so wonderful that we can help each other, and we support each other, and we buy each other's books, and we do the congratulations, and we're sincere about it. That's another thing. I think sincerity is a big deal about living authentically. And because any of us can give lip service to anything.
Totally.
But it's something else to really feel like when your book did so well and became a bestseller, and that we're congratulations, Eric, and that sort of stuff, and with everybody, like, I love when somebody's successful. That just makes my heart sing, because they're just adding good stuff to the world. Yeah,
that's how I am. I love to see people win, and I think it's been great being a part of the Blue Business Life in the Universe team community. And Corey's been awesome. I met him in 2017. But that was one thing I always said, is the givingness, of that whole community has been awesome and inspiring. So just watching that. So when you look at where you are now, and you think about where you want to go, where you want to take this WOW concept, where do you really want to go? I know you said you want to create a series of the books, but where do you want to go with the WOW concept?
Well, I really want to start doing live events, Eric. Okay. I want people, because I really believe there's power in the energy in a room. And I love sharing that with people. I love bringing other people on board to share it. That's what I want to do. I'd love to see people talking about living life in WOW all over the place. Just like, I'd like it to be, a household phrase. I'd like people to be thinking about what their pictures look like, and being able to go, wow, oh, wow, I better change that. Oh, wow, look at that. It's just so much fun.
I bet that would be so awesome. An event where you'd have a group of people that get a chance to take their pictures, get their pictures taken, and they can see what they're thinking.
The only problem. I can't take the pictures anymore, Eric.
Oh,
I just
no.
can show people what I've got because Polaroid and Fuji stopped making the film for the camera.
Oh yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah, so and I'm on the lookout. I'm gonna figure out something. I figure if I can ask the question, the answer has to be there.
Yeah,
So I am stay tuned.
yeah. Oh man, that'd be so cool. I love it.
But
So what
even
do you
just
have coming up?
seeing the
What's that?
pictures, I said even people just being able to see the pictures on a screen,
Yeah,
it becomes a measurement to it.
yeah, I think so. I think you're right. It really gets your attention. Like I said, when you put that up there and you see these circles, you're like, why is she putting these circles up on the screen? What is that? What is that? Where the X is at, right? But it's cool when you explain it, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I said, meeting you up in Colombia, I just thought you were just awesome. I loved your message, and I'm so glad we've stayed connected. So, what do you have? What do you have coming up?
What do I have coming up? Well, I'm writing my own book
Okay,
called The Bully Lives Within.
the bully who lives within.
And it's helping people who have had bullying experiences
Okay,
as a child by an adult that may have been very small, but how that has affected them throughout their adult years.
got you.
And so I want to write this book. It's not going to be a long book either,
Yeah,
but I want to share with people my story because I allowed something to affect me for the majority of my life.
okay.
And I really, really want to save as many people from that experience that I possibly can.
Yeah, yeah. It's a tough one because it's a behavior that's passed down, right?
Yeah.
In some cases, right? So even though
Yeah,
you,
for sure.
yeah, yeah,
And like I say I allowed it because I did.
yeah,
The bully's long gone.
yeah.
So
Now,
who's the bully now?
yeah, you just kept doing it to yourself, huh? That's why the battle within is such a huge fight to win because it knows your every move. It knows your weakness. Man, the mind has power. Has power. Yeah. So, but if you learn how to control that, or at least recognize the trigger and be able to flip it when you need to, I think that's a great thing.
I agree. I think and a conscious living, is important.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't live consciously. They just, and I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying that there's a blame there or anything. Boy, sometimes we're just all trying to keep our heads above water and put food on the table and get the kids out the door to school and get them picked up and just trying to get that one foot in front of the other. And sometimes that's all one can do. And that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay if that's where people are at. And I think we have to stop beating ourselves up. And I think we have to stop beating each other up. And we have to stop letting the media beat us all up.
Right.
And we have to start making choices about what's going to make us feel good for our life.
Yeah.
And I don't believe anybody feels good when they're putting someone else down in any manner, shape, or form.
No, and usually it's because they're not happy with themselves, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's why, again, the WOW concept, I'm hoping we can get happier people.
Yeah.
That have big momentum shifts.
There we go. We got to create the momentum shift. It's a movement. We got to keep moving. We get on top of that mountain. We want to be able to look out and really experience life at a higher level, but also look down and realize that we've inspired others to climb too. So I think that's a huge part of the whole shifting of momentum. We've got to start for ourselves, but eventually we realize it's not about us. It's about everybody else, who we can help, who we can inspire to change as well. So that goes the same with the WOW concept. And it's going to be a big movement. And I can't wait to see people out there wearing their T-shirts, just looking and going, wow.
Well, your mouth to God's ears, Eric.
So how can they get your book and how can they connect with you?
Well, our book is on Amazon.com and .ca, and it's also in Kindle version.
Okay.
And for your listeners, if you don't mind, Eric, if they reach out to me at either on LinkedIn,
Okay.
where I'm on LinkedIn, or if they reach out to me at my email, Debora, Debora, at smashthroughmentor.com. If they reach out to me and say that they heard me speak on your podcast, The Momentum Shift,
Okay.
I will send them a free copy of a digital version of the book.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. Now, so everybody listening today, first, replay this episode and go back and listen to everything that Debora has talked about today. The wild concept, that 2x4 you might be getting hit with. She can help you. She's gonna help you change the game on that one as well. But also go to her go to her email and email her at Debora smashthroughmentor@gmail.com, correct?
No, Debora at
Debora.
smashthroughmentor.com.
Okay, there we go. Debora at smashthroughmentor.com and get your digital copy of the wild concept.
Live life in wow nuggets of wonder, openness, and wisdom. So
Yeah.
we love to share it with the world. We want to get it out there as much as possible. So if you let us know, and I'm also available for speaking engagements. I love to go into corporate and help people just become very, very productive. And I show them what their thoughts look like or might look like.
And so we didn't really touch on that much. Thank you for bringing that up. Do you work more on team performance improvement or productivity? Where do you focus on that? Leadership? Where do you focus on that?
Well, it all goes hand in hand.
Okay.
I customize everything I do when I do any of my trainings, big groups, small groups, whichever, and I'm available to speak at large and small. And so I believe that it all starts with thought. It all starts with acknowledgement.
Yes.
And that leads into how do we become better team players? How do we help each other at work? And we do that with starting with thought. We do it with changing our own stuff first.
Yeah.
And looking for ways to make it better. And that increases the bottom line. It increases the profit level.
I agree with you. Definitely. We start with us first, right? Can't connect with the team if I can't connect with myself.
Yes.
I like
for
it.
Sure.
So, Debora J. Hollick, thank you for joining me today. You are awesome. It's always great to see the smile and the energy you bring to the room. Thank you very much. You truly are a momentum shifter. I want you to continue to just keep pushing because you're doing great things.
Thank you, Eric. It's been an honor and a privilege.
Can't wait to see you again in the Blue community on one of Corey's speaker boot camps or what have you, whatever we link up on, because it's always great to be in that environment with you. So that said, ladies and gentlemen, it's been the Momentum Shift, a show designed to get you moving, get you inspired so that you can get results, because we want you to make the impossible possible for you. Until next week, I'm Eric Collier, the Mayor of Motivation. Thank you for joining me. And now my guest, Debora J. Hollick, for another episode of the Momentum Shift. Take care.
Are you feeling stuck, dreaming of a life beyond your current boundaries? I'm C. Eric Collier, and I've been where you are. Now, as an international speaker, 3-time international best-selling co-author, veteran, and the host of the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I've dedicated my life to helping people just like yourself embark on a transformative journey to unlocking your inner greatness. With my wealth of experience and a proven track record, I guide individuals to break through barriers and create life-changing momentum shifts. Having been featured in news and magazine articles, on television shows, and spoken on stages like the National Press Club and Columbia University, my message has inspired people worldwide to turn the impossible into possible. On my show, the Momentum Shift podcast and radio show, I'm committed to sparking a movement that empowers others to shift momentum in their lives, offering motivational insights, interviews, and thought-provoking discussions. If you are ready to redefine what's possible and unlock your potential, then subscribe to my mailing list for exclusive content and updates. Join a community of motivated individuals just like yourself on the path to greatness. Subscribe now and transform your life at crcollier.com.